Working with the Firetruck, it's mostly basic shapes, but you can tell that the basic shapes have been modified with soft curves like this and this here, across here. And it's those shapes that I see some people struggling with. So I'd like to do this little demonstration to give you some ideas. I'm going to take this apart and do some of this again. So I'm just taking a few things off here. The windshield, as well as the back of the cab here, the front hood or the front grille and the top hood are all modified with the Reshape tool. I'm going to take off my guides for a minute here. The guides are helpful for centering and stuff, and we'll turn those back on here in just a second. Let me demonstrate again with the Reshape tool. I'm going to deselect. Remember, you can just click in the outside negative space there. Change my fill to white. Bring my white color forward here. Just trying to bring it forward there. Okay, and so I'll draw myself a rectangle, and I'll just do it this really simple way. I usually draw from left to right, but you can draw the other way too. Okay, I evidently am in outline or in draw behind mode, so let me fix that too. Bring that to the front, and then I'll click right here to make sure that doesn't happen right away. Okay, to modify the shape here, I would do this. Let's suggest this to you. To change the angle of this, direct selection tool is going to be most helpful. By clicking on this anchor point, you see I now have control of just that anchor point, and I can bring that over. By clicking here, I can use my right arrow key on my keyboard and just manipulate it like this. Okay, tucking that in, tucking this over. To add the rounded shapes that you see here, these little soft shapes and this here, I'll use the Reshape tool. The Reshape tool is right here under the Scale tool. It's this one right here. And the object does have to be selected. Be aware, let me zoom in here so we can see this. Be aware that the Reshape tool is just this little white wedge. Compare that to the Direct Selection tool. They're very similar. So you just have to keep in mind that they are going to look very similar. Reshape tool, object selected, click on the path, and then press the Command key to get the white Direct Selection tool. If when you press here the black arrow comes up, then try this. Just click the white arrow, then the Reshape tool, and now when you press the Command key, the Direct Selection tool comes up. You want to select the points by themselves, the added points from the Reshape tool. Select them individually. They seem to work best that way. Now there is maybe one exception. I'm going to click right here, Reshape tool. I'm going to click right here with the Reshape tool, and you notice that those two have stayed selected, but so has this. So I'm going to deselect that one. Now I'm going to select this one. See if I can do this right here. Okay, I want to select this one and this one at the same time. You saw me there clicking around. Even I get confused by their similarity. They're just almost alike. Okay, but I selected here and then Shift key and selected here. You can select them both at the same time and soften the bottom, kind of round out the bottom of that windshield like that. Okay, additional clicks, just use the Direct Selection tool if you want to go over or manipulate any of these anchor points from here on. Remember, fill areas can be selected in the middle if you decide you want to move the whole thing. Okay, white arrow does a lot of different things, and you just have to try to keep it all. You have to keep it all in mind. Now, this little sliver that you see here, you might think that I just drew it like here, here, and here, but I didn't. I'm going to delete it just to show you what I did do. Okay, now I've got two shapes here. I've got this shape, which I modified with the Reshape tool here, and here, and here. But once I've got one of them, just select it, copy it, Command C, paste in back, Command B. Okay, now the new shape is selected. The new shape is selected. Use your Reshape tool to add an anchor point right here. And then with the direct selection tool, select it all by itself. And if you drag it up like this, you'll see it reshaping. Now you may need to modify this a little bit, and mine's looking a little funny this time. Let me just delete that. I'll delete that point on it. Okay, now I clicked in the wrong place, of course. Okay. Pen minus. See if I can get that to delete. That's what I'm looking for. And then just change the fill color. Okay, the fill color for this needs to be a little more of an orange kind of a shape. Okay, and you see I didn't do a real great job on that, but that's kind of how you do it. If you draw the one in front and then copy and paste the one in back and then recolor it, you'll get that little triangular shape here that we're kind of wanting. Now, occasionally the Reshape tool doesn't modify the shape quite like I want. You can still go in and you can drag these apart a little further, and you can get a nice softer kind of a curve there. I can still select the one in front and add a Reshape point there. Select it with my direct selection tool, and this one has a little bit of a bump like that. Okay, so you can see you can get very specific with it. There's a soft curve there, and then there's a big soft curve up here. Okay, so we're again trying to kind of emulate that. I'll make that area a little bit lighter just so we can see it better. Okay, now for things like the headlights and these shapes, these were done with the pen tool, by the way. It's click, click, click with the pen tool, then reflect, click, click, and it'll just make an exact copy. I'll show you how it works. I'll click here, Shift key here. I'll turn my guides back on. It's Command semicolon. I pull those guides out from the ruler earlier. Remember, you can bring guides in like that. Okay, so that's what I did. I just brought it in and put it right here in the middle of the truck. I've got those two selected now. If you go into your Reflect tool and then click anywhere along this path in the middle, just move away, bring over your new pair, add the Shift key, the Option key, and let up with the mouse. This will work for anything that you want to repeat that is a perfect reflection. That's a good example there. The brackets on the sides of the for the mirrors on the sides of the truck. We can do those next. Use my pen tool for this. I just need a black stroke to start with. Okay, so there's my black stroke. And with the pen tool, no fill, black stroke. And I'll just do a close version of the mirror bracket here. I'm just going to click, 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 and then click. And I've added just a little bit of a bend there just to give it, again, a little personality. Okay, and it seems like that's supposed to be more like over here, maybe a straight line. Okay, so click, click, hold the Shift key to get a perfect vertical, and then I click that back over here. Deselect, I'll make a red rectangle here for the mirror, and I'm just going to sketch it in here and then change that fill to red, the stroke of none, and I want to just tap it into place using my arrow keys on my keyboard. This is the same kind of situation here. I want to make an exact copy of that over here. Select, go to the Reflect tool, click anywhere on the center line, and then just move away and drag it around. You'll see it pop up. Shift, Option, and let up with the mouse. Now, if this isn't perfectly centered, it may overlap just a little bit. Easy to fix. Just tap it on into place with your arrow keys on your keyboard. So evidently my center line's not quite perfect. You can actually go in here and make these a little more perfect too if you want. I'll maybe do it by selecting this, make it a little wider. Okay, then I'll send it behind, Shift, Command, left bracket, and then Command, right bracket, just clicking until it comes back up in the layer stack. And you can see now it's nicely tucked in behind the cab of the truck there. You could do the same thing over here. Again, the way I did it was to just select here. Okay, I'm just going to move this over. Then with it still selected, Shift Command left bracket will put it all the way back. Command right, and you can bring it back up. See how that works? If you go too far, you'll bring it back up in front of the cab. You want to do that, you can just tap it back down. Remember, it's Command left bracket to go down in the layer stack, Command right bracket to bring it back up in the layer stack, and you can see kind of how I ended up doing that. All of it's modifiable. If you really don't like what you've done with that, you can do this, Shift, white arrow, and now look what I can do. I can just move those up and get them where I think they might look a little bit better. Okay. All right, so those are some of the issues with the Firetruck. Let's check my time here. If I go over 15 minutes, then I lose my whole video. Let me do a grill on this thing. I'm going to use the round corner rectangle tool. So I'll just kind of sketch it in. I'll do it out from the middle like we've done. Option key. Okay, and it's getting there. Now I'd like to make the edges a little more round, so I'm going to use the up arrow key while I'm drawing it. Still got the mouse down. I don't want it black, so I'm going to flip these. I don't want a stroke. I want a black fill. Okay, then likewise I'll tap that down into place. Command left bracket until you see it tucks in there like that. All right, now I've got it in the right layer stack, but I'm going to drag it back out over here because I've got something I want to show you that works really well for cutting this into 3 pieces. Okay, I'm going to use a regular rectangle here, and I'm just going to drag it across like here. Now I'm going to go to my object, path, and divide objects below, and I can take out this slice. Isn't that neat? Okay, I'll draw another rectangle here, and maybe another one here. Selecting those individually, go to object, path, divide objects below, click. Oops, that didn't work. Okay, let's see if this one worked. Okay, good. Yeah, I just clicked on the wrong spot there. Okay, and I'll do one more right here. Object, path, divide objects below, then select, delete. And now you can select this object. I think it's 4 pieces. Okay, I'm just going to drag that back over. Select and drag, and then Shift key so it stays kind of where I wanted it. And I'll put it right there. Isn't that kind of neat? Okay, I'm going to have to cut it off before I hit my 15-minute mark. So that's some of the issues with the Firetruck, and hopefully that helps.